Welcome. Everybody's getting on here. We see everybody. Hello. It's so wonderful to have everyone here. I'm going to see if we can make Blue happy so we can come here. Welcome to Love and Arms. I'm Chartrina White, the executive director. We're so grateful to have all of you here. Love and Arms Animal Sanctuary. Give me one moment. Can you give him some food or let him out? Yeah. Give him something to quiet down. He wants to chime right in. I might actually have to be the one to leave. Love and Arms Animal Sanctuary is located in Erie, Colorado. We are a farmed animal sanctuary where we rescue abused and neglected farmed animals. Our rescued residents include cows, pigs, goats, sheep, turkeys, chickens, donkeys, ducks. I think I got everybody in there. And we have 120 plus residents that we take care of. It is our mission to foster compassion, to foster ahimsa. Ahimsa is nonviolence toward all living beings. And we do that by providing exceptional care, emotionally, socially, and cognitively to our rescued farmed animals. And we feel by sharing their stories that we hope to inspire, to educate, and to empower others to embrace a more sustainable and compassionate lifestyle. Our vision is to create a sanctuary where we have inspiration and connection, where all people are empowered to make more compassionate choices for themselves, for the planet, and justice for all beings. And we could not be more thrilled tonight to host the Animal Communication Collective. We are so grateful to have all of you here. It's been an amazing time to work with all of you preparing for this incredible event. I do want to remind everybody that this is being recorded. So if you have your video on, you're giving permission for this recording to take place. And it's just so that we can have this for promotion and different things like that. If you do not have your camera on, though, you will not be called for a reading. So if you want to just listen, you can do that. But if you'd like to be called for a reading, make sure that you have your camera on. It is my honor to introduce Julie Hurt, who's going to make opening remarks and introduce the rest of the Animal Communication Collective.
Awesome. Thank you, Chartrina. Yes, my name is Julie Hirt. I am with the Animal Communication Collective. And just to give you a little bit of information about who we are and what we do, we are a complete volunteer organization. We were created by an incredible group of women. The two directors are with us tonight, Meredith Tollison, as well as Karen Dendy-Smith, are our two directors. All of us in the group are professional animal communicators. It's our mission to help animals, and we do this by collaborating with animal welfare organizations such as Loving Arms Animal Sanctuary through online fundraising events, just like this one. Our team donates all of their time, and we help plan the event and clearly help also participate in the event. We also donate private readings that you have an opportunity to win as a giveaway later on in the VIP party. All of us here help organizations like Love and Arms raise money for their animals. And we're really hoping that what we do tonight also is helpful for them as well, particularly seeing in social media of late that the rising costs of hay is something that they're really going for right now. So we're really excited to be here and excited to help and excited to meet all of you and hopefully choose at least 6 of you for a reading. And right now I'm going to turn it over to Meredith, where she's going to explain a little bit more about tonight.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Julie. Julie and I have joined together to co-captain this event, which just means that we did the initial planning part, and now we're so excited to have the rest of our team come together. I am one of the co-directors of the Animal Communication Collective. Our fearless leader and founder and brainchild Karen Dendy Smith is here. She didn't want to be recognized, but there she is. Wave your hands, Karen. Karen came up with this concept, and we really kind of launched it during COVID, knowing that so many organizations had lost a lot of opportunities for their volunteers, their fundraising events, all of the things that happened in the world. So the timing was great. This group of friends and colleagues came together, and it's been a lot of fun. We've done quite a few events so far. We have quite a few more on the table, and we're super excited to be here. So again, my name is Meredith Tollison. I am in Tupelo, Mississippi. Another aspect of all of this is we can be all over the place, all over the world. I am a soul level animal communicator, as well as a soul level intuitive coach. I have a background in animal Reiki, and this is the volunteer work that I do. I have full-time jobs running property management businesses, and I'd love to get those out of the way so that I can work with animals all the time. But I'm thrilled to be here with you guys tonight, and I'm so looking forward to it. Julie, do you have something else you'd like to add? You sort of made your introduction.
Sort of, yeah. I'll just say real quick, I'm also in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I too am also a soul level animal communicator, but also as Meredith, a soul level intuitive coach, and really excited to be here.
Thank you so much. Pamela.
Hi, my name is Pamela Revercombe, and I am living in upstate New York in Cazenovia, New York, on a small lake. I am a soul level animal communicator and a soul level intuitive coach. And I grew up on a dairy farm, so I'm super excited about this and all the work that you do. I really appreciate all of your efforts for those animals. So.
Thank you, Pamela. Paula.
Hi, everybody. I'm here in Rhode Island. I'm a soul level animal communicator, and I have been for a few years now. And I have developed a specialty with reptiles, some of my favorites. I also take out small animals at our local zoo and show them to people and explain about them. So that's my life. I love it.
Thank you, Paula. I'd like to introduce our tech team extraordinaire, Jody Crotty and Kelly Curry. They're going to be working with us behind the scenes, posting information in the chat for you, and making sure that everything goes smoothly for us behind the scenes. Jody.
Hey guys, thank you. My name is Jody Crotty. I'm all the way on the East Coast in New Hampshire. So I'm so happy to be here. I'm also a pet loss professional as well as a Reiki master. So I'm so happy to be here, and thank you everybody for joining us. If you have any questions, just let me know.
Thank you, Jody. Kelly.
Hi, I'm Kelly Curry. I'm in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I'm a soul level animal communicator, a earth tender, which means I do ley line. I work with the ley lines of the earth, and I do land readings. And I'm also a holistic animal care coach. And I'm grateful to be here. Thank you all. Jody.
Awesome. Jody Jacobs, last but certainly not least, our ACC Fearless Ambassador.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jody Jacobs. I am not a professional animal communicator, but this group has let me come in and join them, and I'm so grateful for that. I am their ambassador, and what I do is I reach out to different animal rescues and sanctuaries to see if they would like to partner with us in having these type of events. So if anyone here is part of a rescue or sanctuary or knows of anyone that might be interested, please shoot me an email. I will put my information in the chat.
Excellent. Thank you, Jody Jacobs. One quick housekeeping note. We all have, as we've seen, Karen has Princess Dia in her lab. We all have animals that like to come in and visit. We're probably all in houses where there are things going on. Please, if you're not having a reading, please go ahead and mute yourselves so that we make sure there's not any background noise that takes away from everyone, from everything else. Also, let's not raise hands. That shifts everyone on the screen. We'll explain this in just a moment, but there won't really be any need to raise your hands. If you have a question, please post it in the chat, and Jody and Kelly will help take care of that. All right, Julie here, I'm going to hand it back over to you to give these guys a taste of what it is that we do.
All right, so all of us, as you can gather, are animal communicators. We are actually certified soul level animal communicators. And what that means is we've actually all attended the same schooling, if you will, through the same teacher and been certified by her. And this is where our soul level animal communication actually is a tad different from regular animal communication, in that we really try to get to, in our regular one-on-one meetings, how the animals are working with us for our own development and growth. It's actually really cool. But we're all certified in this particular method. Animal communication is actually something that all of us are capable of. As divine beings having human experiences, we can all tap into our intuition. We were actually all born with it. And we can tap into that intuition to connect to greater consciousness, which is what we will be doing tonight. And this includes that greater or higher consciousness includes animals. It also includes people who've crossed over. And that's why you see people have different specialties, ours, of course, being animal communication. For us, this intuition, it's like pumping up a muscle that, like I said, we all have it, but we've just really spent time honing that muscle and being able to really use that intuition so that we can communicate to animals and to things that are what you would consider woo-woo, if you will. But all of us, like I said, have it. And the four of us that are reading tonight, as well as the two techs that are here, we are all soul level animal communicators. And so that kind of gives you a flavor of what we do for a living, if you will. So Meredith, do you want to tell them a little bit more about what we'll need as we get moving forward?
Absolutely. So if you were selected for a reading, we're going to ask first and foremost that you give us only a few pieces of information. All we need to know from you is the name of your animal. Many of us like to know the gender and the species, and whether your animal is alive or in spirit. We like to not have that much information so that we won't be influenced by anything that you've told us. We want to be sure that the information that we're receiving is coming directly from your animal. We will connect in with your animal. We'll get a little taste of his or her personality. And then we'll do a quick reading, and you'll have the opportunity to ask your animal one question. So go ahead and be thinking about that question. We'd like for it to be an open-ended question rather than a yes or no question. The context can generally be, how does my animal feel about X, Y, or Z? Is there something in particular my animal would like for me to know about a particular topic? And that way we can pull the information out. So we will give you just a quick second at the end to give us 1 or 2 points of feedback on anything about the reading that was relevant, made sense. We will ask you as we're going along, does this make sense? If it does, great, just say yes. If it doesn't, don't be afraid to say no. We'll go back in, ask the question a different way, go a little bit deeper, and get the information. You're not going to hurt anyone's feelings here. Just remember not to give us too much as we get started so that we will know we're connecting in with your animal. Does that make sense to everyone? All right, fantastic. Well, I say let's get rolling. Okay, I'm going to make the first selection. We'll each make our selections intuitively. You'll see as it goes along that there tends to be a reason that there's a connection with the person that each of us chooses. And you'll also see that as you're listening to someone else receiving a reading, you might find a message in it for yourself. It's pretty awesome how it works out and how it all happens and comes together like that. So I'm going to be making the first selection. If you'll give me just a moment to gather my energy to clear and connect. We've all, as we've come in, set our intentions that we are clear conduits. We are receiving the information and we're passing it on to you. We're not going to try and translate it, put it together, tie it up in a pretty bow. We are just going to pass the information on to you, hopefully in a way that we can express it and you can hear it, and that it will be what you need to know for your greatest and highest good for the purposes of this reading today. So I am feeling drawn. I'm going to drag you up on my screen to, and you may have to help me with the name, Sarah Thorsteinson.
Hi,
Hi, how did I do? Did I do okay on the name?
pretty close. It's Thorstensen.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
I added a little extra stein in the middle.
That's okay.
All right, Sarah, are you open to being read here today?
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. Julie here and I are going to do this reading in tandem, in pairs. We'll go back and forth a couple of times to get some information about your animal's personality, and then we will give you an opportunity to ask your animal a question, and we'll go back around and see what comes up there. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. What is your animal's name?
Dublin.
And what kind of animal is Dublin?
A dog.
Dublin is a dog, male or female?
Male.
And is he alive or in spirit?
Alive.
Okay. You ready, Julie?
Yeah,
You're laughing already.
I am.
It's funny how quickly they often come in, and I am getting a little bit of a goofy personality here. There's a little bit of a if I ever describe to you what the animal is showing me physically, what they look like, more often than not, this is symbolic of something. Rarely do they show me what they actually look like in their body. But he is showing me this kind of like flash of all these different things, like this goofy boxer. I have a neighbor who has a boxer who jumps up in the air and touches his nose to his tail when he gets really excited, and he has this abnormally long tongue that like unrolls and folds out of his mouth, and there's slobber slinging everywhere and these ears flapping, and then it's kind of like a basset hound with ears flapping and he can almost fly, and then it goes to a Great Dane like Marmaduke. So it's just like boom boom boom, all of these different things, but they're all a little bit goofy, extremely enthusiastic and joyful. Does this feel like Dublin's personality to you?
When he was younger.
Okay. Julie, what you got?
So when you first said his name, like you heard me laugh, but he actually tickled my stomach. And at first I saw him, and breeds for me really get to be symbolic, but I too saw a lot of different breeds. First I saw a Scottie, then I saw a West Highland Terrier, and then I saw an Irish Wolfhound. But what was interesting was when he was the Westie, he kind of walked like this and just kind of like, and did this little soft shoe kind of a dance. And then immediately became this Irish Wolfhound, where it was just this stately, like there's a poise to Irish Wolfhounds, but at the same time, there's also a lot of slobber too. So I also got a lot of slobber, but also this really kind of sense of fun. And like, he wants to look at me out of the corner of his left eye and just like invite me to come and play. Like, there's just this little sense of like, let's get into some, what's the word I want to say? Let's get into some mischief is the word I hear. Does that make sense to you?
A little bit.
Okay.
So as Julie's talking, I'm getting an image of seriously like this big burly guy in a pub with a stein of beer, and he's raising his beer and he's singing, drinking songs, and he's sitting on his stool, and honestly he almost looks like a little combination of good classic Irish guy sitting in a pub and pirate with a peg leg. And he's kind of showing me that he's not getting off the stool. He's not going to get up. He's not going to go dance a jig. He's not wandering down the street. He's going to sit right here where he is, but he likes this enormous mug of beer that he has in his hand. And he's literally like bringing it back and forth in rhythm and singing, and laughing and being pretty loud and obnoxious, but not in a way that everyone in the bar is like, God, I wish that guy would shut up. More in the way that everybody in the bar is like, I wish I knew all the words. I'm singing along. He has a tendency to feel like he's bringing together people, hearts, energy, a sense of community somehow. And he's sort of the fun guy in the room, but everyone's having to circle around him because he is not getting off that stool. Does any of that resonate with you?
A little bit, yes.
Okay.
And for like, as Meredith started to describe him being on the stool and having the big stein of beer, for me, also what he was starting to do was settle into that stool and begin to tell a story. So when Meredith was talking about have everybody gather around, it's almost like he kind of settles down, and he's almost getting like his butt really on the ground, and he's like, okay, and now we're gonna talk and have a little conversation. And he's getting a bit serious, but there's still this sense of fun and lightheartedness. And I do feel, I hear the word yarn as far as like a story being a yarn kind of a thing. So he's just, that's how, if he's making me feel, is like he's ready to he's ready to tell us a little bit more, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All
I
right.
love that. Yeah,
Mhm.
there's a little bit of a kind of a grandfatherly, everybody gather round, I've got something to say.
Mhm. Yep.
Sarah, what kind of question would you like to ask Dublin? Do you have a question in mind?
Yes, I'd like to ask him how he's feeling.
So how is he feeling? Julie, how would you like to word this question? Is there something that he wants us to know about how he's feeling in his body?
I think, yeah.
Okay.
I was just gonna make sure it was physically, yeah.
Is it physically that you mean, Sarah? Okay. So one technique that a lot of us use is called body mapping. And in that, I'm asking Dublin to sort of unroll his energy along my body to show me in my body what it feels like in his body. And I immediately I'm real tingly across my shoulders and the upper part of my arms. At first it felt like chill bumps, but then it sort of feels like when your foot goes to sleep and you go to stand up and you get those pins and needles and you want to take a step, but you're like, I'm not sure if can I feel the ground under my foot, or am I just feeling the pins and needles? So I'm feeling this across my shoulders, across the back, middle of my neck, and down like to my elbows. And then it's almost like below my elbows, I don't feel anything at all on my front, on my paws, on my front. I'm aware of them, but it's like I don't have a whole lot of sensation in them. I'm getting these pins and needles. And then I have a very this is odd, but I have a pretty strong piercing ache in the fourth toe on my left back foot. There's initial body mapping, and while Julie's going, I'm gonna kind of drop back in and ask him what he's trying to show me with that information.
And I was body mapping too alongside Meredith, and I would just add, the only thing too was I got all the tingle things that she was talking about, but it also for me goes down the spine, if that makes sense. So it just feels, how do I say, like joint wise, it just feels things are a little stiff, like particularly along the back, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Okay.
Great.
Right before we started, I had to go get a pillow to put behind me in my chair because I just felt like I needed a little extra support, and I'm feeling that very much now. And I have my hands sort of on my hips, but with my hands pointing to the back, almost like I'm covering my kidneys. And I'm seeing a poodle. You know how poodles have that poodle cut and they have those two tufts right there, right by their bum. And that's actually like to warm and cover their vital organs, to cover their kidneys. So I'm feeling a discomfort. I'm not going to call it pain, but I'm feeling a stiffness in my lower back, and the need to like put warmth where my kidneys would be if I were a dog. Does that make sense to you?
Totally.
Julie, you have anything
yeah.
else?
So I let him take the body back, and I did go ahead and ask him, how are you feeling? And he showed me, and I also had the physical sensation of laying down completely and like letting my legs, my front arms, if you will, but his front legs like sprawl out. And I just feel like I don't have a lot of energy. I actually feel, it's not so much tired, it's just there's not a whole lot of it's just gonna lay here. I also feel like I'm warm, and I'm having trouble cooling down, so I'm trying to get as much of how it feels to me is I'm trying to get as much of my chest on something cooler and letting the arms spill out so I can get air moving up underneath here, if that makes sense too.
Yes, it
It was
does.
so interesting. I was getting the same type of information, like sprawl out on the tile floor, on the, my dog's been lying on the glass coffee table because it's cooler there, feeling the need to cool down. And I'm hearing, I ain't no spring chicken. And that's a good old Southern expression. But he's also telling me that he's fine, you know, that he's fine with where he is. I'm assuming that maybe he's slightly older. He's giving me sort of a feeling of, I'm fine. This is part of the process. This is part of just feeling older. But I'm not feeling pain, discomfort, and he's just showing me, I'm fine. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Now just let me, and he kind of like a misting fan or something on him, maybe, you know, just to kind of to cool him down a little bit. Anything final, Julie?
No, it was all the same thing. I got that too. Like, yeah, age, what are you gonna do? That's what I hear.
Do you have 1 or 2 points of feedback you'd like to give us, Sarah?
No, that's great. Yes, he is very slobbery. Yeah, he's a Newfoundland. And he is 12 and he was lots of fun when he was younger. He has kidney failure. So the fact that you brought up the kidneys is correct. He does often splay his legs out on a tile floor. And he's been having an issue that I think you've been helpful with, is that he gets things that are like seizures in his head, but they're not seizures. And they do seem to go down his neck. So, you know, knowing that there might be something in his shoulders or his spine is helpful. So thank you very much.
Good. Thank you for sharing Dublin with us. And I think he'd like a big beer. And he'd like to sing the song.
Ironically, I was at a farmer's market yesterday and saw someone was selling beer for dogs.
Oh, well, maybe that would be something Dublin would enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate you sharing that with us. All right, Julie.
Right. So Pamela, are you ready to go?
I am ready.
All right. So I'm being drawn to Elise Lane. Elise, are you open for a reading?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Who are we speaking with tonight?
What we're speaking about,
Oh, yeah. What animal? What's the name of your animal?
my animal is Violet.
Okay. And is Violet, what type of animal? Dog, cat?
She's a rescue. She's a mutt. I don't know,
Dog.
but she's
Okay.
beautiful.
Okay. Is she a female? And she is alive, I take it.
She is.
Okay. All right. Okay, Pamela, you good?
I'm good.
All right. So Violet, female dog, alive. Let's get a sense of Violet's personality. And as her energy comes towards me, I see, if I had longer hair and curls, it would be like this. She's reminding me, she's actually showing me of, I don't know if you're familiar with the movie It's a Wonderful Life, but she's showing me Violet from It's a Wonderful Life, who's like, I don't care what, I don't care how I look. And she was the really pretty one that would try to get Jimmy Stewart to kind of hang out with her sometimes. That's how she shows me. She's very pretty. I feel very girly. I feel like she's wearing a dress and she's letting it flounce all over the place. And she's just like, look at me, I'm just pretty. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Okay, cool.
When she came in, and you were also describing this, but she looked very, and wouldn't always get the colors right, but she's like white and beautiful and flowing fur. And when she walked, like her hair would flow softly. So just a very proud, pretty walking thing that when she came in. I'd like to connect a little more like to her body and just see what she likes to do. So I'm going to do that for a minute.
Okay, cool. I was asking her too, what else we needed to know about her for the reading tonight. And she's got really like in my face like this. She's like, don't let my good looks fool you. I'm really, really smart. And I will figure out what I need to do to get what I want. Does that make sense to you?
It does.
She's very adamant about it. And she's pointing her finger at me just like that.
Well,
Yeah, it makes sense.
So
Mm-hmm.
I
Well-
did ask her about some things that she likes to do, and she showed me a very elaborate, I know some dogs circle before they settle down. They're going to come sit next to you or by your feet. But it was sort of like, it wasn't so much of the circling, but when she was done like this, she's a way of sort of sitting up and out like she's on display. And she showed me that she does that sometimes down on the floor if you're sitting somewhere, but also up on a couch, she might do that. And it's too, she also, when she does that, she feels like she has that she likes to be in a vantage point, somewhere where she can sort of take in the whole room and where everyone can see her. So, got a little of that.
Cool. Anything else, Pamela?
I would like to try body mapping just a little because I'm feeling a little bit about how she moves. That just
Okay.
check in with that.
It's funny when Pamela was talking about her being doing poses on the couch, I started to hear David Bowie's China Girl for some reason. So I'll just share that. I'm not sure why. She started just singing that song too.
Yeah, I did feel she was focusing on her middle body. Like it almost feels like a dog that is long like a dachshund, but in the middle. And she feels very strong there. I don't know, like she's compact and strong in that area. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
It's a thing that she's showing me that, I don't know, a lot of times animals will show me what they're proud of or what they think is a good feature that they have. So I was getting the beautifulness and that part of her body feels strong.
We need to see if Pamela's got something else to share before we move on to
She's
the.
letting me know that she's very polite when she asks for food, that she isn't, what she's saying is I'm not one of those dogs that goes, ha, 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 give me the food, and looks silly, that she feels that she's very patient and demure when she would like to request food. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Pamela, do you feel like we're ready for the question?
I think we are, yeah.
Okay. What would you like to ask her, Elise?
We travel a lot and we leave her in great hands. But what can she tell me that could make that better? Because the last trip she got physically sick, and I think most of it was emotionally responding to us leaving. So I'm wondering what else would make her happier, comfortable.
When you're away?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Let me just ask, is she going to go to the same place again?
She stays home. We have somebody
Okay,
come in and
okay,
stay with her. It
Okay.
couldn't be better.
All right.
I got something right away, that she would appreciate it if when you go, I mean, she says she can usually figure out when you're going, but if you would sit down and talk to her and tell her where you're going and how long you'll be gone and that you'll be back. And she just likes to know that. And if someone comes in and takes care of her, like, you know, Susie will be here and she will take care of you, and just sort of tell her that. And when you're leaving, let her know that you'll be coming back. She just likes to, she understands that you leave and come back, but she likes to, it would really help her if you talked about it before you went.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Elise, can I ask you, is it with the same person every single time? Or is it
The
something?
same,
Okay.
the same person and our housekeeper who knows her really, really well. We
Okay.
think she's in ideal hands, but still.
Yeah, okay, because I just wanted to see if we needed to ask more specifically about a person, but it feels like we could ask her, what can you do to support her when you know you're gonna go away?
Mm-hmm.
And just see if we get anything else than what Pamela got. Okay? Does that
Sure.
sound good, Pamela? Does that question sound good to you?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
It's
all
just,
right.
the more you tell her about what you're doing and where you're going and when you'll be back, even like I'll be back in 3 days. And like I said, Susie will be here, whoever, you know, will be taking care of you. Just a reassurance, and that you'll be coming back. That's the big thing that she keeps saying. You know, she just wants to know you're coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when I asked Violet too, she does say that. She's like, however you want to count it out for me, like even if it's like how many moons you'll be back. I hear her say she actually does usually enjoy when you're gone. Not that she misses you, of course, but I do hear her say that she does actually have fun when you're gone because you go have fun. She gets to have fun. So you guys get to go separate and then come back together. She actually does enjoy that. So then I was just asking her as well, so what was going on this last time? And I hear her say that she just got there was a little bit of homesickness, meaning that you were gone. There was a little bit of homesickness, but she also kind of overdid herself as far as I hear her say overindulged. She overindulged in something, so treat or some type of food or something, and it just kind of set her system off a little bit, if that makes sense. And her schedule was a little bit different. I also hear her say her routine was a little different, and it just kind of messed things up. I hear her say, I am, as I grow and mature, if she will, things kind of the routine, when it gets out of hand, I hear her say, just kind of throws her body off a bit, if that makes sense.
Very much so. Thank you.
Yeah.
I did also, she indicated that she likes it when the person that takes care of her takes time and sits with her, and just spends time with her, sitting with her and talking to her, petting her. She enjoys that. I didn't necessarily feel that she was saying the person wasn't doing it, but she really likes it when she does do it.
Yeah, I hear she has little adventures. I hear little adventures with the person that she does. Yeah, she really does enjoy it. Just seeing if there's anything else she wants to share. I hear her say that sometimes you bring her a souvenir. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
If she likes that, I hear her say sometimes she brings me a souvenir, and she's showing me, like when my dad would come home from business trips and bring me like a little match car, but she's showing me the same thing. Like sometimes she comes and she brings me a gift, and that's like awesome. Cool. Awesome. Yes. Okay. Pamela, any last things that you're getting from Violet on the question?
No, she just sort of feels like she's glad she got that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially the part about just the details. She knows that you tell her, but she can't hear enough about it when you're getting ready to go, that you'll be coming back.
Well, did that answer your question, Elise?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Most welcome. Thank you. Is there anything you want to share at all?
Well, once the suitcase comes out, she's completely aware of what's going to transpire. So, but talking to her is a great idea. Mm-hmm. And I want you to know, about a minute ago, she jumped up on the bed and is sleeping right next to me. She was not in the room, but she knows you're talking about her. And she's 15 now. We rescued her at 2, and she's 15 now. So, but we hike. She hikes 4 miles with me twice a week. So she's in great shape. Mm-hmm. And I really appreciate the connection. Thank you. You were very right on.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Pamela.
So I'm going to go next with Paula. Where's Paula? I can't see her right now. There she is. Okay. Way up there. So for this one, I'll be picking someone, and I have intuitively selected Dee Wilner, if she's interested. Are you interested?
Yes, I am.
All right, there we go. So first, I'll ask you, what is the name of your animal?
Barnaby.
I can't hear you very well.
Barnaby.
Barnaby, okay. And this, what species is this animal?
A dog.
Dog.
Male.
Male. And live?
Alive.
Alive, okay. All right, so you ready, Paula?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we'll just start by checking in with Barnaby and just get a sense of his personality and his relationship with you and what he likes to do and things like that. And we'll just relay that information to you and check in with you to see if it makes sense to you. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to start in, I'm going to need a minute here to just connect with him. Okay. Well, I have like a space where I connect with him. It's actually a barn, by the way, that I loved growing up. And he came bounding in, sort of almost like hopping, like, hey, I am here. Does that make sense? Okay. Just a sense that he's very enthusiastic. He will do things. He's, it's almost like you couldn't, whatever you suggest, let's do it. He's like, yeah, I'm there. I will do it. So how about you, Paula?
I'm right there with you. He came in. For me, size of an animal is important. And he came in looking to be about 40 pounds.
Yeah.
And he's got long hair. And as he's bouncing up and down, the hair is flapping and the ears are flapping up. And he's just so darn happy and good natured. Dee, I do have a question for you. I hardly ever ask details. This is one detail I do ask. How big is Barnaby?
80 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
80
Okay.
pounds.
Yeah.
Because when an animal comes, this is what animals do for me. When an animal comes in looking considerably larger than they are in real life, it's usually a sign of either the dominant animal or this gigantic personality.
Mm-hmm.
And he came in with everything flapping. I'm taking a guess he has a gigantic personality, but
Does that?
oh yes, because it always works when they come in bigger than they actually are. What do you think?
Yeah, I did. It's funny because I did see him as very big. I'm trying to think of it. There's some cartoon bear almost that he reminded me of, just the way he was coming in. But he also is showing me that he has said that he'll do just about anything that you want him to do. But he also shows me that he will do that. Oh, I can do that. I can do that. Yeah, I'll go for a walk. I'll go do this. And then he just collapses and just like gets completely exhausted. Like, whoop. Does that make sense? I've lost where.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. Yeah. It's really funny. It just sort of like, and with his size, it's just like, I'm down in the space now. But if you asked him again to go do something, he would get up and do it. So
I have the same feeling from him, Pamela.
yeah.
He's using more energy than he needs to. He's got so much enthusiasm and happiness and such a good-natured thing.
Yeah.
That if he would just walk like a normal dog, and if he would just slow down a little, he could maintain his energy level further. But he comes in and then splat.
Yeah.
As he rests, and as soon as he's had his little rest, boom, back up again. Does that make sense, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he just let me know that he can look at you and just capture you with his eyes, that he has a way of just looking at you and you can't turn him down, whatever it is. And he knows that he can do it. It's just sort of like a halfway sitting up thing and just looking right at you. I heard something about wrapped around his finger, toe kind of thing. My little claw on this side. Yeah. Oh, anything else? Are you ready for the question? Or okay. So Dee, do you have a question for us?
He has issues with people. Will that ever change?
Okay.
Or are we always going to be in that same situation?
Okay. So
How do you want to praise that, Pamela?
yeah, I think I would ask him about, so there are some issues that you have with people, and how do you feel about, go ahead.
Pamela, something in the line of, why don't you tell us how you feel about other people?
That's what how do you feel about, because he will know that you're aware, you are concerned about these issues with people. So I would just ask him, you know what Dee's asking us about the people. How do you feel about that? The things that concern her. Does that work for you? Okay, so I'm gonna just take a minute here.
Seth?
The first thing I heard from him was, well, I can't help it, I'm so big and I'm lovey. So I kind of got that he might get a little exuberant and not being too aware of his size compared to other like kids or people, that he gets a little rambunctious and might hurt them. Does that make sense?
No,
No? Okay,
no.
I'll go
no.
back. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see what else is there.
Dee, I have him, his immediate answer one was he held his nose, that scent has a lot to do with liking some people and not liking others. And I can't quite put my finger on what scent it is. So let me ask him what he's talking about. Some people stink to him. To a dog.
I asked him if it's about what, if he could show me what he does that is an issue. And he did, I did see that he gets protective feeling and barking for what you think is no good reason. Does that make sense to you?
Very
Yeah.
protective.
Yeah, but he says, but I have to do it. I'm being protective, but I know she doesn't like it when I do that. So let me see if she'll tell me more about that.
Can I add something while you're connecting?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. This scent thing has something to do with trusting some people. And really being concerned about the ones that have the wrong scent. And I don't know what the wrong scent is, but back to what Pamela was saying of protecting or being leery of them. He just doesn't trust some people. He's just leery of them. Let me ask him.
I'm also seeing that part of this is it's difficult for you, Dee, when he does this, either controlling him or just being upset that he's barking like that at people. Because what I'm seeing is that it's close contact, like you might be walking and someone that goes by and he gets barky. He is also showing me that when it happens and when you're upset, he's confused about what you say to him or what you do when we want him to stop. And I'm seeing that you just maybe just call his name. Is that what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Doesn't always work.
yeah, and it's funny because I try not to project from things that I know, but my son had a problem with his giant German Shepherd like that. And what was happening was that he kept saying the name and the dog would say, what? You're like, Barnaby, what? Like, so you have to, because it almost becomes like they think that you're cheering him on, like Barnaby, and they're thinking, go, Barnaby, go. So, I mean, I think that maybe you could work with him and get what I'm seeing from him, just have her tell me what she wants. Tell me what she wants. Because when he hears just his name, he's like, what? Does that make sense? That's something you could, yeah.
He also gave me another suggestion.
Yeah.
As you see somebody, whether it's coming to the house or taking him for a walk and passing somebody, when you know that somebody is right there, before he can react, if you could just reassure, just tell him this person is okay and I've got this. He doesn't need to, you don't need to protect me. I've got this.
Yeah.
I think it's important for him to know that you're feeling confident and you can deal with it.
Yeah. And then the other, like if
That
you're
was it.
surprised, yeah, if you're not prepared, you don't see it coming and it just starts, just call his name and then say, I need you to come here. I need you to come down, whatever you say to get him to come and sit or relax. Because I definitely felt that he was confused by you know, he would look at you, he knew you were talking to him, but then he wasn't sure what to do. Like, were you saying, great, you're protecting me, or I want you to calm down and come over here, or whatever. That makes sense? Yeah. I wish sometimes the dog would just come in and say, yeah, that's good. Okay. Like,
I think the scent part is very interesting because I put out an email to try to get a pet sitter because he doesn't like people. He's very particular about people. And somebody answered, but he goes by CJ. So I didn't know if it was man or woman. He really doesn't care for men a lot. And when I pulled him up on Facebook and went, oh dear, it's a guy and he's tall and this is not going to go well. But he works for a vet, but he also wears some kind of cologne whenever he comes over here. And he'll take Barnaby for a car ride to Wendy's to get a hamburger.
That's a winner.
It helps. And like right now where I went to the Galapagos for a week, so he came over and stayed and it went well. Not to say I wasn't worried, but it went real well. But now I'm having him come over once a week now, just as a reminder that this person's okay. He's still okay.
yeah, that's great.
But they said they do their weekly trip to Wendy's.
Yeah.
But the scent, you know, he leaves his scent in the car too. So it's kind of like I'll get in there and go, oh yeah, CJ was in here.
Huh. Yeah, is there anything else? No, you're good? Okay. You, Paula?
Paula, before you make the next selection, I'm sorry, I meant to say this just a minute ago. If you are here in this event and you are still interested in purchasing a ticket for the VIP event and you have not done so, please do that now. We will end the purchases for that in the next like 5 minutes. So if you want to, Jody, can you post the link to the place to buy that? So if you want to do that and you have not already done so, please do that now. 5-minute time frame. Sorry, I forgot to say that a minute ago. I got so into all the readings. Awesome. Thank you. Paula, you go right ahead.
You and I are together now. And Erica, would you like to have a reading? Erica?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Your picture just kept jumping out at me. All right, Erica, let's start with the basic information. What's the name of your animal?
Okay, my dog, she's a dog. Her name is Mia. She's a female.
Mia, female. And is she alive or in spirit?
She's alive.
Okay. You have that, Meredith? Okay.
Got it.
All right. My goodness, Miss Dainty is walking in. Erica, you probably heard me on the last one that the size of an animal is important to me. They give me information that way, and in is walking the tiniest, cutest, daintiest little dog with a tutu, with a pink tutu. In other words, just dainty and girly and tiny. And this is how she is showing me that she feels about herself. Even if she's a Great Dane, she is just feeling 5'2", eyes of blue, and I'm gorgeous. Could you tell me how big she is? Erica?
Yes, she's a miniature wiener dog, so she's about 10 pounds.
Oh, okay. All right. So then there's nothing exceptional about the difference in the size, because I'm looking at maybe 8 pounds. She's showing me exactly who she is. Does the dainty and the
Yep.
Girly makes sense?
Yes. I mean, I
So-
put pink.
So that's hilarious to me. When I see shapes and sizes of animals, as Paula was saying earlier, it's almost always symbolic to me. And I see her, I see her showing me really, really super long legs, like almost ridiculously long legs with this little bitty wiener dog body on the top. And it's like giraffe legs. And she's going dee 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 dee. I get little tiptoes a lot of times. I love that Paula selected this one. I have a new god granddaughter. I guess that's what she's called, whose name is Mia. And she's 3 months old. And her mom bought her all these ruffles and bows and, these little headbands with great big bows. And she can't stand them. Like she likes the big flannel blanket. She wants to snuggle up with that. And she's like, enough of all these bows. It's like her mom wanted her to be girly and dressed like that all the time. And she at 3 months old is like, it's hot. I live in North Carolina. Put me in my t-shirt and let me just hang out. Like she really would prefer to be naked. So I'm getting the feeling from Mia that she has this from your Mia, that she really kind of enjoys being this little press pot. And like, it's almost like when she's on stage, when she's
Oh, yes.
performing as a ballerina, she's incredibly graceful and beautiful. And then she comes off stage and she rips off her eyelashes and takes her hair down out of the bun and throws the tutu in the corner and sits like on the couch, like sitting like a man, and wants to kind of show this other not quite proper side of her personality. Does that make sense to you? She doesn't sit like a man on the sofa, really? Of course. That's what she's showing me. I'm getting these two sides of her. She knows what she's supposed to do and how she's supposed to act. And then this other side, she's like, yeah, forget all that. My bows are in the corner. My tutu's in the corner. Off I go. That's what she's showing me. What you get, Paula?
And she's showing me that in her mind, she is the center of everybody's attention. Anybody that comes in, she is the center of their attention, even if it's their first visit. And she just feels that everybody loves her. Everybody thinks she's wonderful. Everybody thinks she's beautiful. She's very pleased with life right now. Does this make sense, Erica?
Yes, yeah.
So I also see the love for center of attention, but this whole ballet thing is, I mean, prima ballerina. She's on center stage, but she's also not afraid like to elbow someone out of the spotlight a little bit, or stick a toe out and maybe accidentally trip somebody so that she can be in the center of attention. Does that feel like her? Little mischievous.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you,
Yeah,
Paula,
she's
anything else? Do you feel, I'm sorry, Erica, you kind of have a little bit of a delay. So
Is that better?
yeah, much better. Paula, does that feel pretty complete? Are you ready for the question?
I'm ready for the question. What is your question, Erica?
I am just wondering how she's feeling physically right now. Because she has a upcoming surgery.
Okay, well, before you give us any explanation, let's narrow in on this. Meredith, you want to stick to physically?
How does she feel in her body?
Yeah. I feel the need to include emotional in this, Erica. Like
I
along
agree,
with the
Paula.
physical condition, how do you feel about that emotionally? I feel she's telling me we need to hear about that also. So how about, Meredith, how about if we just say, Mia, could you tell us how you're feeling? Or
Yep, that,
does Erica need to know about how you're feeling? That might
yeah,
be
that
better.
sounds good, Paula.
Okay, so it's Erica, we'll be asking Mia, what does Erica need to know about how you're feeling?
Paula,
You can go if you want. I
go
can
ahead.
wait. I, there must have been some bed appointments. If she is having surgery, there must have been some bed appointments ahead of time, because she's telling me about, I'm going to be the center of their attention. There is no fear, there is no regrets, there's no sadness, there's no concern. She's actually looking forward to being the center of everybody's attention. So I'll let Meredith answer while I go back and ask about the physical.
Okay. Emotionally, I'm actually getting an interesting thing. Let me see if I can ask for the words to describe this. She's feeling nervous to me, but she's nervous about the insignificant things. I keep getting a concept of like being terrified of going to like a person being terrified of going to the dentist to have their teeth cleaned, or a child being super scared of that little tiny fingerprint prick, not scared of the actual surgery or big procedures, but like scared of the little things that come before. It's almost like a redirection of not knowing how to feel about anything. So picking something so insignificant to the rest, to what would seem like that to the rest of the world, something so insignificant to get really hung up on, like going to have a pedicure and being terrified of having your toenails cut. I mean, there's something, I don't know if any of this is making sense, but it's like latching on to the being weighed on the scale at the vet rather than going through an actual anesthesia and procedure and things like that. It's almost like she's having to select something to focus on to keep her mind off everything else. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm going to ask a little bit more information there.
While you're checking on that, they don't do this anymore, but years ago, doctors used to give kids a lollipop after they got their vaccinations or shots or went to the doctor. You know, you always got a lollipop.
I saw a lollipop too, Paula, like the little dum-dum
I saw the
lollipop.
lollipop. That's funny that showed us both lollipops. So she's not worried. But I did a quick body map, and I'm just feeling tension of, like, from this shoulder to the back of that shoulder, maybe just tension across my back, a tightness. It is not a pain, it's just a tightness of, and I can't quite get it. Hold on. Yeah, I'm feeling it would be across her back, behind her neck, a tightness. And that's the only physical complaint I'm hearing. And it's not even a complaint, it's just a condition.
And I'm not feeling.
Make sense, Erica?
Yeah. Can I elaborate on what was going on or no?
Give me one more second and then we'll give you a chance for feedback if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, because Paula, do you mind if I jump right in?
No, right ahead.
I had a quick flash, and what I'm seeing is so okay, like in a vet's office, you know, that you've got the surgical table, you've got the lights. This is I keep coming back to dentist office too. You've got the lights above. Everything feels kind of, if anyone's ever had surgery, if you're still awake going into the OR, it's kind of like there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of shiny stuff and it's all very bright. And I'm seeing her wearing sunglasses and then like putting a sleep mask on top of that, and then dabbing some essential oils around her head and neck. And it's like doing all of these things to take the glare down. And I think that's both actual and symbolic. There's just the concept of there being a lot going on, and she would like some protection over her eyes, over her mouth. I'm seeing her put on dainty little gloves. It's just like she's looking for something to make her feel a little more protected from the lights and the sounds and everything else. And the lollipop feels like a thing. Like, I'm going to do this. I know it's going to be fine, but make sure I get my treat at the end. I want my lollipop after my finger prick. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And some sunshade.
And just one last thing, I also see her, you, Erica. And I see her at a vet, and I see, this is before anything has happened, before she has gone in, she just gives me a big ta-da, here, folks. So we're back to the center of attention. She just brought me all the way around to bring me back to her being the center of attention. And I don't, Erica, I don't hear any worry in her. But she's not giving me any sign of a physical complaint other than that tightness. Do you think that's all, Meredith?
Yeah, it feels like she's aware that Erica is worried. Erica's a little nervous about this. But she's saying she's going to be fine, but she does want her lollipop or her trip to Wendy's. D, is that what you said? Something to get her as a reward after this thing. That feels pretty complete to me.
Okay. Eric, you want to give us some feedback here? Anything you want to comment on?
Well, she's going to the dentist.
All right.
She has really bad teeth, so she's 15. And I'm so nervous.
Erica, I do believe you're more nervous than she is.
What was that?
I believe you are more nervous than Mia is.
And I just want to make sure I'm doing it for her, and that's what she wants, you know. And she'll be okay.
She's showing me no indication that she is not going to be okay.
Exactly. Ta-da.
Yep. But the making sure she got some sunshades on feels important. The equivalent of that, you know, just feeling not blinded, not calm before she goes in. But I don't think she's that worried. She's a little focused on, you know, the little things, but she doesn't feel worried.
And now hearing the details, maybe the treat should be soft.
That's funny.
Well, thank you very much, Erica, and thank Mia.
All right, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Hang in there, Mama. It's really, oftentimes it's harder on us than it is on them. It really is. Well, thank you very much. And thank you, Paula.
Thank you, Meredith. And you have another announcement to make, don't you?
Yeah, no more ticket sales are closed. Is that right? Is that the one I'm supposed to make?
Yes.
Ticket sales for the VIP event are closed. I hope to see you all there. Thank you very much. Okay, we've got time for a couple more readings, and I believe I am up, and I will be reading with Pamela. Yay! I'm gonna scoot you over here, Pamela. I'm gonna drag you next to me so we can look at each other. And I would like to offer the opportunity for a reading to Kathy McGee. Can you unmute yourself, Kathy? Oh, I lost you. Hang on.
Okay.
Awesome. Are you open to having a reading here?
I am.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Great. So Pamela and I will be doing this reading with you.
Okay.
Tell us the name of your animal.
Scarlet.
Scarlet. With one T or two?
2 T's.
I wrote two before I started asking. So I'm glad.
That's a good sign.
And what kind of animal is Scarlet?
She's a dog.
A dog, female. And is she alive or in spirit?
She's alive.
We got lots of live dogs today. I love it, love it, love it. Okay. Pamela, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Kathy, give us just a second to clear and connect with Scarlett. I immediately get a sense for the flair for the dramatic. She's showing me obviously Scarlett O'Hara, God is my witness, I'll never go hungry again. But then I'm also seeing there's a famous painting, and I think her name is Olympia, and she's a buxom woman, and she's lounging on a sofa, and she has this kind of come hither look. I think is it Manet? I can't remember who the painting is by, but I have a cat who's very, very fat. And this is a large woman in this painting. So when my cat lies down on her side with that belly hanging out, we say it's the lounging of Olympia, or whatever the name of this painting is. And I'm hearing, would you like to draw me? It feels like she really wants to be observed and recorded somehow, honored with some sort of work of art, whether it be painting or film, or I'm hearing something about needlework. I mean, she wants someone to create something in her honor based on their observation of her beauty. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. Good, because that's really random. Pamela, what you get about Miss Scarlett?
I got some of the same, but she kept showing me how she walks, almost like, I don't know if I can show you, so like she sort of picks up her feet and puts them out like this, and that she says that it's partly that she does that too because she has beautiful feet. And she wants people to see the beautiful feet, but it's a very kind of an exaggerated. Well, at first I thought it was almost like the horses that are taught to, pick up their feet, but it comes out and then goes out. So does that make sense at all?
I didn't really notice that.
Okay. I never know if it's symbolic of how she's feeling about herself, but she believes that this is the way that she presents herself. And it's, again, like Mary said, there's a flow and a beauty to it. Then she also, so I asked her what she liked to do, and like other than walking beautifully, and she said, sometimes I just play, like I just get like silly and play, and almost like she almost is like a puppy. Like she didn't really want to talk about that or let anybody know, but she really sometimes likes to be like a puppy. But other times she likes to present as elegant. So
Pamela, I could totally see the feet. I could totally see the feet. And at first I saw the horses, like a Tennessee walking horse. It's a very unnaturally trained gait, I think.
Exaggerated. It's like, look at me. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's beautiful and it's lovely. And then it shifted for me into ballet with the ballet mistress slamming her cane down on the ground with the tempo and saying, present your feet, present your feet. And the young ballerina, and these were small children in the ballet class, like learning to point their feet and present their feet. So there's a little training involved in this presentation. This is what it's supposed to look like, but this is not how I would naturally do it, but I understand that this is what is expected of me in this context. I don't know what that means, but that's what I'm hearing.
No, I get that too, but it was more like sort of she's accepting that this is the way that she presents, but she also secretly likes to play. Like I said, to be just a regular, what I'm hearing is just a regular dog, a silly kind of puppy. And I like doing that as well. And what I see her doing is this sort of I don't know, jump and chase thing, where she'll go over here and go after something, and then it's almost like she would like to play that, and then somebody's over there and then she goes over there. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
I can see her doing it. That's like a game. Going over here and there.
I see her slinging something into the air, almost like she's she plays with herself, like she creates her own fun. I can see her at the top of a staircase, drop a ball down the staircase, run to the bottom of the staircase and get it, and run back up to the top and drop it again. I see her with a toy slinging it through the air, and then she'll run chase it wherever it got to, and then she'll throw it back in the air and run chase it.
Mhm.
somewhere else. And I'm hearing her say, I make my own fun. Like she entertains the hell out of herself. I mean, she doesn't require, she appreciates, but doesn't require someone doing for her all the time. She's
Mhm.
going to find a way to have her own fun.
Yes,
Does that make sense about her personality?
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's interesting because when I was watching what she was doing with that, and then you were talking, and I realized there were not people there. Like she would, but it's almost like she imagined, oh, there's something. Oh, now there's something, but it's not. Yeah, so that would fit in with what you said, but yeah, there was no person in there playing with her at the time.
Mhm.
As you said that, Pamela, I see her seeing things that nobody else sees. Like maybe she's slightly entertained by her active imagination. I want to say there's
Yeah.
something to do with like ghosts and spirits maybe that she sees that no one else sees, but she's got a very active imagination is what's coming to me.
Yeah, I feel like she actually does have an imagination. I don't know if it's, but I mean that she actually thinks there's a little thing over there that I can chase. Like,
Okay.
not even, she doesn't even need a toy, you know, like a play toy or a real mouse or whatever it would be. It's just like she actually like sees it like in her imagination.
It's interesting that you brought up the mouse because she just killed one in my backyard before I got online.
And that was a lot of fun for her.
Yeah.
And me
Sometimes
too.
there's a real
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
It probably was. I feel she was surprised. Like, whoa, there's a real one. Cool.
I love it. I love it. Pamela, does that feel good? You ready for the question?
Yeah.
Good deal. Kathy, what question would you like to ask of Scarlett?
So I'm wanting to find out why she reacted to my leaving town the way she did last week.
Okay.
So what do we need to know about how she felt when you left town last week?
Well, I just realized last night that my rug, my area rug downstairs was saturated with urine,
Oh,
Okay. So,
which is pretty unlike her. And I felt like she was acting out a little bit.
okay.
so Pamela, how do you feel about phrasing that question?
I think first I'm going to just ask her if that was related to your going out of town. If that was a thing that's related,
Okay.
cause and effect. Does that make sense, Meredith? Too broad.
Yeah. So question number one is, was this house soiling? Is that connected to Kathy leaving town?
Okay.
And then we'll ask if there's anything else we need to know.
Okay. Well, I'll just say it. I heard almost like, yeah, I was pissed off. So
Okay.
let's see what else she's got for me now that she's got her attention. It's funny, it is a little bit like the other reading about the person going away. For some reason, at least I feel like she felt like it was abrupt and she wasn't prepared.
Mhm,
And it really pissed her off. So she
mhm.
felt that that was a good message because and I can see that this wasn't something she normally does.
No.
But
So
I'm
I'm
like
seeing,
thinking that you didn't have time this time to prepare her. So she felt like it was abrupt and
That's very interesting. Yeah. I don't know. Can I elaborate or is it best not to right now?
absolutely, but just give us one more second because
okay.
I've got a little bit more information. I'm seeing, what's her name from Willy Wonka? Is it Violet Beauregard?
Scarlet.
Is it Violet? Violet,
Scarlet.
stomping her feet.
Oh.
I want
Oh,
to,
I see. That's the name of the dog.
oh, what's the name of the character? But Daddy, bring me a whatever. She's very demanding and she's a little bit spoiled, but I see her sitting there stomping her feet and going, well, you better be glad it was just the area rug. You know, be glad it wasn't the, you know, the 10 by 14 Persian in the other room. You know, I made my point, but I didn't ruin everything, you know, but I made my point, and I'll continue to make my point until you hear me. So what is it that you're trying to say, Scarlett? This is like a foot stomping sort of display of a little bit of, I'm mad about it. I'm going to do this and I'm going to tell you why. So why are you mad about it? Is it the abruptness? What do you think, Pamela?
I was just getting a really interesting visual of Scarlett coming down the big stairway in Gone with the Wind and having some pretty impressive tantrums or stomping of her feet kind of thing. It's sort of seemed like there might have been a little tantrum, and that's how she decided to leave a message.
Okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
well named. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels appropriate. So
So
do you want to give us a quick little bit of feedback, Kathy?
Yeah, so the abruptness of the trips makes sense. I usually don't come back from one trip and a couple of days later leave on another one, but I had to do that. And so I was home for 5 days and left again. So that makes perfect sense that she might have had a little temper tantrum regarding that. The silly play is spot on. She will pick up a toy and toss it and entertain herself with it. She'll toss it across the room and run over and get it and toss it in another area. So you hit the nail on the head with that too, and making her own fun. And the drama. You started out with the drama. She is very much a drama queen. So, so it was interesting. Yeah, you really hit some good points.
Awesome.
Good.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for letting us connect with Scarlett.
Yes, thank you for the information. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And take Pamela's advice and have a little conversation with her to let her know when
Yes.
you're leaving.
Yes, I will do that. Absolutely. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Well,
you.
I think we've got one more. Julie, you want to take the
Yeah.
lead on that?
Paula, you ready?
I am.
All right. I'm actually really drawn to Julia Cameron Weingart, if I said her name right. How do you feel about that?
That is exactly right. And I'm just elated you chose me. I'm just, woo! Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm sweating. I'm like, are they going to call me? Are they going to call on me? Please. Thank you.
Awesome. Hi, Julia. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Cool. All right. Who are we talking with this evening?
We're gonna talk with Roxy.
Roxy. Is it ROXY?
That's right.
Okay. And Roxy is dog?
Roxy's a dog, a girl dog.
Okay. And she is alive or in spirit?
She's alive.
All right.
All right.
Okay, Paula, here we go. Roxy, female dog alive. Let's get a sense of her personality. She's already making me laugh. And for some reason, she wants me to kind of shimmy my shoulders a little bit and just go, hey. I hear also the phrase good time, Roxy. And I can't remember if that's from the play Chicago, but I also hear, and I see her as Renee Zellweger in that movie, not Michael Douglas's wife, Catherine Zeta-Jones. I see her as Renee Zellweger. But I just feel like I think as one of the other animals that we had today, I feel very good about my body right now. I feel really good about my body right now, which is not normal as being a human being. Yeah, she's making me feel pretty confident and secure and wants to just kind of shimmy shake. So Paula, what are you getting?
I'm getting Roxy coming in, and immediately what comes to mind from Roxy is Rocky and the music and and she's showing me I'm tough. I can take care of myself. Can you, Julia, could you unmute yourself so we can ask you?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm just laughing. So I'm getting tickled myself. So yes.
Okay. All right, feeling tough and I can take care of myself, and does that make sense to you for Roxy?
Oh, 100%,
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
It was cool, Paula, when you said that too, because at the same time you started to say it, I then heard Rosie the Riveter. And I know that in the posters from World War II, you had the muscle. So it's just like, and I'm hearing her say like, there's the feminine aspect of me, like being comfortable in my body and la 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 kind of thing. But there's also like and just you try to mess with me is also what I get from her.
I just got the phrase put into my head, strong women are awesome. We love strong women, and she is a strong woman.
Yeah, I hear, and I like no nonsense too, is what
Yeah.
I get.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool, awesome.
I
Paula,
take,
you
no
can-
B, I take no BS from any Ellen.
I really like her.
Making sense, Julia?
I mean, bullseye,
Okay.
bullseye.
Cool.
And she's also like, she's really excited you chose me because she wanted to talk.
Okay,
So,
that's great.
yeah.
I've been looking at you for a while, and I'm like, I guess I'm gonna talk with Julia. That's what.
And I'm so glad you chose Julia, because if it were my choice, I would have chosen Julia.
I love it when it
Bless
happens.
you.
To talk to
Bless you. I
Julia
mean,
tonight.
very,
Cool.
very grateful. Very grateful.
Yeah, we need, or better yet, we needed to talk to Roxy tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Paula, are you ready for the question?
I certainly am. 'cause
Okay,
Roxy
Julia,
is-
what do you want to ask
Okay.
Roxy tonight?
Roxy doesn't like other dogs. There's only few that she likes, and I want to get another one. And she's downright nasty. She rolled the dog next door, literally a little dog, and she's just on this dog. You think she's going to kill this dog, but there's no mark at all. She's never bitten anybody, never attacked, but she snips at every single dog except a couple that she likes, like her guy down the street, Cooper.
Okay.
No more information, Julia.
Yeah, so I feel like, Paul, we kind of open this question up, right? Don't you think? Like,
Yes.
how do you feel about other dogs, and see if we can't start big and see how we go?
I think we know how she feels about most of the dogs.
Yeah, I just want to know, like, yeah. But
How about, all right, Julia wants another dog,
okay.
and Roxy
Yeah.
Roxy has a problem with it. So let's ask, what can Julia do so that another dog would be a good idea for you? Something on that idea, Julia, or do you want to start?
Yeah. Yep, I like that idea. That feels much better. So what does Mom or Julia need to know about what you're looking for in another dog, or what would work for another dog?
That sounds good. Does that
Okay.
sound good to you, Julia?
Beautiful.
All right. All right, Roxy. What does Mom need to know about another dog? I hear, well, clearly it has to be the right match, but I hear her say, like, I see her stand up and be very strong. And I hear her say, like, not subservient to me, like, not, how do I want to say, like, I don't want to be a wussy pants is what I hear her say. I don't want the other dog to be a wussy pants. Her phrasing, not mine. But I want some respect is what I hear her say, if that starts to make sense a little bit.
Yes.
Okay. Paul, what are you getting?
I've got a very strong, often repeated, let me choose, I'll pick it up. I'll choose the one.
Yeah. Yeah, very much involved in the.
Very much. I'm watching her I'm watching her go up and down a shelter, meeting all the dogs nose to nose. I'm seeing a bunch of puppies. I'm seeing various ways that you can get another dog, and she is there sniffing everybody and meeting every last one. She wants to choose. Does that make sense, Julia?
Yes. And today we are downtown Fort Collins, and there's a little dog store in there, and there was a little puppy in there, and she was not aggressive with this dog. She kind of liked her, but she said it wasn't the fit.
Yeah.
But she at least showed me that I can be, yeah,
It's
that's right
possible.
on. Oh, that's right on.
I heard
And,
before you
that's
said
just-
puppy, Julie, I did, when Paula was talking about all the different dogs, puppy just really kind of pinged me.
Really?
I also then heard, I want to be able to teach. So there is, like, again, this idea of respect that she's bringing back, but also I would like the ability, like, to choose, as Paula has also said, absolutely, I get that too. And also she wouldn't mind being able to teach, if that makes
And
sense.
she's rephrased that for me. Teaching isn't strong enough. She used the word train.
Mm. Mhm. Yeah. Very
She
much.
wants to make sure this new dog fits in with her plan of how life should be.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right.
Yeah, I hear
I
her say,
think that's fair.
she wants a little, I hear her say, I want a little bit of control too,
Yeah.
like, in how this all goes. Like, she doesn't need to be, how do I want to say it? It is up to her, and she wants some control, you know.
She used the word input with me, same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, does that answer your question, Julia?
Yes, it certainly does. And you all have relieved me a lot, because there was a lot of anxiety with me getting another dog, right? I'm like talking, it makes me sweat because she is unique, Roxy, and she does have to have that fit. But you're right on, and I already pick up on a little bit of this energy from her. I just can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It's a true blessing. So thank you all so much.
Awesome.
Okay.
You're welcome. You're
And thank you
welcome.
to Roxy.
Yeah, thanks, Roxy. She's pretty awesome. Cool.
Awesome. Well, I think that wraps up our readings for this evening, and we managed to do it with only 2 minutes over. Yay. Yay. Chartrina, would you like to offer some closing remarks?
Yes. Some of you, it was so much fun listening to everybody and learning more about all of your dogs, and so grateful that you all joined us tonight. Thank you so much. We are looking forward to the VIP party. I do want to remind you, though, that that Love and Arms, if you like what you heard and you wanted your own personal reading, if you book with any of the animal communications collectors, you get 15% off anytime if you book before September the 30th. And I think
Actually,
that people,
do you mind if I correct that real quickly?
yeah, is it September?
So it won't be 15% off, but what will happen is you'll
15%
pay,
more.
and we will turn around and donate 15% back to Love and Arms.
Yeah.
So they will continue to receive donations where
All the way to September 30th, correct?
exactly.
Okay, thank you so much. We will be back we'll take a 15-minute break. And so the VIP party will start at 6:45 sharp. Does that work out for everybody? We are going to move out to the big barn with the residents so we can have the VIP party out there with all the residents at Love and Arms. So looking forward to seeing you all in 15 minutes. Thank you all so much. If you want to go to www.animalcommunicationscollective.com, you can look at the team there. And we will be doing drawings and having lots of fun conversations at 6:45. And the email went out to everybody. So everybody should have the new link in your email for the VIP party. If not, please reach out to me directly. Thank you all so much. Thank you for supporting Love and Arms. And thank you everyone from the Animal Communication. We are so grateful for you.
Thank you. We'll see some of you in 15 minutes. Thank you, Chartrina, for allowing us to do this for you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Chartrina, this was so amazing.
Oh, so
I mean, let me tell you what, you hit the nail on the head. This is so